Hello, I'm John Foster, and I'm a medical doctor who does Social Security disability exams. And my video today is aimed at patients only, and it's on the things you shouldn't do when you go for your Social Security disability exam. As usual, everything I say is based on my own opinions, based on my own study and experience, and not the opinions of the Social Security Administration or any other medical body. Also, every mistake I'm going to discuss today happens almost every single time I do a day of Social Security disability exams. I want you to have the best chance of having your disability application approved. And these are the things that can result in problems and lowering your chance of approval. The first is don't get lost. Know where the exam site is. Almost every day that I do Social Security disability exams, somebody calls the office in a panic because they've gotten lost. Don't be that person. Find out well in advance where the office is. The second issue is don't arrive late. You're supposed to arrive 15 minutes before the hour when your exam will be held, but I suggest arriving at least half an hour before. When you arrive late, you put the whole day's schedule out of whack, and you put everybody in the office in a bad mood. So don't be that person who comes in 15, 20, even an hour late for your appointment. And for heaven's sakes, if you do arrive late, show a little contrition. I'll never forget one patient who waltzed in the office 1.5 hours late and didn't even apologize. Next, don't leave your ID at home. You're required to show photo ID. And don't leave your medications or your medication list at home. Social Security wants a list of all the medicines you're currently taking. You don't have to include supplements like vitamins, but all prescription medicines. Either write them out in a list or put all the bottles in a bag and bring them and show the staff. If you wear glasses for distance, don't leave them at home. Your distance vision will be checked. The next one should be obvious, but I've had multiple cases of it. Don't arrive drunk, stoned, or high. That's definitely going to hurt your chances of being approved. And if you think I can't tell if you're drunk, stoned, or high, think again. I spent 27 years working in the emergency department doing mostly night shifts. Did you know that after midnight, more than half of the patients who are adults who come to the emergency department are drunk and or stoned? Believe me, I can tell. Next on the list is don't be disagreeable. You don't have to kiss the behind of the doctor or the staff, but also don't go out of your way to be unpleasant. Surely, for tens of thousands of dollars, you can be reasonably polite for 45 minutes. Next, don't bring your medical records. Social Security provides some of your records to the doctor before the exam, and the doctor will have reviewed them. The doctor is not supposed to look at records during the exam, and there's not enough time to do so. Leave your medical records at home, but make sure Social Security has copies of all of them, because the number one reason for claims getting denied is not enough medical records. There are two things you want to avoid during the history part of the exam, when the doctor is talking to you about your problems. First, avoid using medical terms like neuropathy or radiation. Pretend that the doctor is a friend who knows nothing about medicine and describe your problems as if he or she was a friend who knew nothing about medicine. Second, Don't describe your MRI. I get this every time I do disability exams. Patients want to talk about the MRIs of their spine. A doctor cannot tell what sort of problems you have from a description of your MRI, or even if you have any problems related to your spine from your MRI, because there are an enormous number of people who have no spine problems at all, whose MRIs are described as abnormal. Again, describe your problems and symptoms in your own words and relate them to difficulty with working. This is an examination to see if you can or cannot work, so we only focus on medical issues that make it difficult or impossible for you to work. Next, wear clothes that make it easy for the doctor to examine you. If it's warm, I suggest a t-shirt, shorts, and slip-on sandals. If it's cold, I recommend loose-fitting athletic clothing, such as a sweatshirt and sweatpants, or for women, tights. Do not wear bulky boots that are difficult to remove and put back on, especially if you have problems with your feet or ankles. Don't wear boots such as construction boots. If you have a problem with a knee or both knees, do not wear tight jeans. It's almost impossible to examine a knee through tight jeans. Again, wear shorts if it's warm, or tights or loose-fitting athletic pants if it's cold. Now, when it comes to the exam part, it's very important not to exaggerate or pretend. Every single day I do Social Security exams, I get patients who are exaggerating, pretending, or deceptive, and I'm always on the lookout for that. If I see exaggeration or deception in one part of the exam, I'll be suspicious that you're exaggerating or deceiving in the entire exam. Be as honest as you can be. Do your best with range of motion and strength testing. Here are the areas where I tend to see exaggeration or deception. Range of motion testing. Testing for tenderness, testing for feeling and sensation, testing for muscle weakness, and reflex testing. Most people who are pretending, exaggerating, or trying to deceive in these areas are pathetically easy to discover. I've been doing this for 43 years now, and I pretty much know what are real and what are not real findings. The flip side of that is don't injure yourself. I frequently get people with problems with pain in their muscles or joints who try too hard with range of motion or strength testing and hurt themselves. Social Security wants to see what you could do reasonably comfortably during an 8-hour day at work, not what you could do once and then would have to go home and lie down for the rest of the day because you hurt so bad. If the doctor is asking you to do anything that would be too painful, just explain what you're asking me to do would really hurt. Do you want me to do it or not? And the doctor will say no. Finally, don't forget or leave out any disabilities. Again, every day that I do Social Security disability exams, I find at least one patient with at least one problem that they didn't even mention. Most commonly, this is problems with a joint, such as they haven't been able to lift their shoulder any higher than that, but it's been going on for 15 years and they've just accepted it and forgotten all about it. Every disability counts, and be sure to include everything and mention it to the doctor, even if it's difficulty moving one little finger. That might be the factor that gets your disability application approved. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and as always, remember, if it happens, it's possible.